Eamonn Holmes speaks out over horrible co-stars and brands them false. Eamonn Holmes has taken aim at fakery in the entertainment industry, saying that he has worked with so many horrible people. On the latest episode of his podcast, Things We Like, the former This Morning presenter interviewed English actor Ray Winstone about his career and relationship with Hollywood. When Winstone shared that he wouldn't live in Los Angeles because its celebrity residents are often wrapped up in a fantasy world, Holmes revealed his dislike for false personalities. Holmes, who presented This Morning alongside his ex-wife Ruth Langsford for 15 years, explained that his own refusal to keep up appearances in the entertainment industry has landed him in hot water more than once. "That's what the business is based on," he said. "If I don't like someone, they'll know I don't like them. And there are so many horrible people you end up with." He added, "People say, oh, he's lovely, he's fantastic. If they say to me, what's that Ray Winstone like? I'll say he is lovely and he is fantastic and people will believe me, because I wouldn't say it if you weren't. But so many are just false, false, false." Winstone reflected on his opinions of celebrity culture in LA, saying, "Every 2 minutes, it's all they want to talk about. We talk about birds and football and boxing, they talk about movies." He added, "Even the guy who puts petrol in your car works in the industry." While Holmes did not name any colleagues, Winstone brought up his decades-old criticism of The Shining's Jack Nicholson, 88, whom he found to be very rude when they worked together on Martin Scorsese's Oscar-winning 2006 thriller The Departed. Winstone said, "We just didn't get on. He's just getting older, maybe there's lots of things going on with him. I didn't like him, I thought he was so far up his own ass. And he was very rude to me, and to my wife. If I had been a younger man, I would have knocked him out." Holmes's comments come after he recently revealed that he is reliant on a mobility scooter following spinal surgery for 3 slipped discs and a double hip replacement. The presenter has been learning to walk again following the back surgery in September 2023. He recently shared a picture from 3 years ago, which showed him standing at a film set, saying that seeing the photo had made him sad. "Great picture popped up from 3 years but it's made me sad. I could walk," he said. "Got to redouble my efforts." From news to politics, travel to sport, culture to climate, The Independent has a host of free newsletters to suit your interests. To find the stories you want to read, and more, in your inbox, click here. Eamonn Holmes lifts the lid on working with horrible and false former co-stars. The GB News anchor sat down with actor Ray Winstone for a frank conversation about fame. Eamonn Holmes has taken aim at Hollywood's obsession with image and the falseness of celebrity culture, calling out the inauthenticity he's encountered during his decades in the business. Speaking on the latest episode of his Things We Like podcast, the GB News anchor sat down with actor Ray Winstone for a frank conversation about fame, fakery and the reality of working in entertainment. The pair, who between them have clocked up over 80 years in showbiz, shared war stories from their time in the spotlight, and didn't hold back. "Why would you say you like someone if you don't?" asked Winstone, best known for The Departed, as he reflected on the forced niceties of red carpet life. "Hollywood and Los Angeles are wonderful places when you're doing all right, but when you're not." Eamonn chimed in, revealing that his own refusal to play the game has landed him in hot water more than once. "That's what the business is based on," he said. "If I don't like someone, they'll know I don't like them. And there are so many horrible people you end up with." He added, "People say, oh, he's lovely, he's fantastic. If they say to me, what's that Ray Winstone like? I'll say he is lovely and he is fantastic and people will believe me, because I wouldn't say it if you weren't. But so many are just false, false, false." The conversation also touched on why Winstone chose not to settle in Los Angeles despite his success. "Even the guy who puts petrol in your car works in the industry," he joked. "Every 2 minutes, it's all they want to talk about. We talk about birds and football and boxing, they talk about movies." While both men criticized the showbiz bubble, Winstone offered some sympathy for younger stars who are still finding their voice. "They're asked questions on telly and they're not quite sure how to answer. I've seen people on shows say, everyone's lovely, everyone's wonderful. No, they're not," he said. His comments come after he recently revealed that he is now reliant on a wheelchair and unable to perform basic daily tasks due to ongoing mobility issues. Eamonn Holmes slams horrible former TV co-stars as he brands them as false in scathing rant. Eamonn Holmes did not hold back his thoughts on his former colleagues in the TV industry as he branded them false. The GB News star, 65, was joined by co-presenter Paul Coit and tough guy actor Ray Winstone on the latest episode of his podcast Things We Like. During an open conversation, Ray spoke about his time living in Los Angeles and how the artificial buzz of Hollywood ultimately drove him back to the UK. He said, "I couldn't live in LA, it's constant," adding, "Even the guy who puts petrol in your car works in the industry. It's like every 2 minutes, it's all they want to talk about. We talk about birds and football and boxing, they talk about movies. Hollywood and Los Angeles are wonderful places when you're doing all right, but when you're not." Eamonn jumped in to express his dislike for the fake relationships he has found in the entertainment industry. The presenter said in a mocking tone, "I don't like this character, I don't like so-and-so, I like that person, I didn't get on with them." He went on, "That's what the business is based on. I mean, I'm like you, Ray. I get myself into trouble because if I don't like someone, they'll know I don't like them. And there are so many horrible people that you end up with. People say, 'Oh, he's lovely, he's fantastic,'" he added. Sharing his candid views on celebrity genuineness, he said, "If they say to me, 'What's that Ray Winstone like?' I'll say he is lovely and he is fantastic and people will believe me because I wouldn't say it if you weren't, but so many are just false, false, false." While all three men agreed on the issue, they stopped short of naming anyone directly connected to their views. In 2021, Eamonn left This Morning to join GB News after 15 years presenting the ITV show alongside his then-wife Ruth Langsford. Noting that, "all good things come to an end," a source told the Mirror that Eamonn's departure came at just the right moment for both him and ITV. It was revealed in November that Eamonn and now ex-wife Ruth Langsford, who filled in for Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield on Fridays, had been cut from their weekly slot to be replaced with Alison Hammond and Dermot O'Leary. At the time, Eamonn and Ruth both sent out an identical statement which read, "It's a changing of the guard on Fridays from January. We hope you make Alison and Dermot as welcome as you've made us over the years. Have a ball you too. It's not goodbye from us, it's simply au revoir until the next half-term." Eamonn, born in Belfast in 1959, had been a mainstay on This Morning alongside his then-partner Ruth since 2006. He previously fronted ITV's breakfast show GMTV, hosting its first-ever broadcast in 1993. He appeared alongside fellow ITV stalwarts Kate Garraway and Lorraine Kelly. But he left the long-running show in 2005, stating it had become too celebrity-focused and no longer covered important news. The presenter then moved to Sky Sunrise, which he hosted with Charlotte Hawkins, who also later defected to ITV. The star also returned to the channel in 2006 with Ruth as This Morning's Friday presenters. Ruth had previously been a guest presenter on the show since 1999.